Okay, so we have talked about quarter notes and we have talked about half notes. Now, we are going to talk about what happens when one note takes up the whole measure in 4/4 time. So right now, I have written the foot language down up underneath the quarter notes. I wrote in the notes with their impulses. And then we know for this measure, we have a half note, which takes up 2 beats. Okay, and so our foot language is going to be this for this note, down and up twice, and down and up for this note. So here's our check pattern. So we already know how to count this because we did it in this measure. Now, what happens when all 4 beats are in one note? So we know that the full measure is 4 beats, okay? But now, what do we do when we count it? So if we did it like normal in our head, we would be thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go back and change our numbers into impulses. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts of this note. So I'm going to have one number and then one first beat, second beat, third beat, and fourth beat. So we have to account for when the note, your foot tap goes down and when it goes up. So we would count this 1. Now in my head, I'm still thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm just impulsing all the way through. Let me count it one more time. 1. So now down here is another check pattern. So we would have our foot tap be. Okay, now in this measure, it's one rest taking up the whole measure. So we still have 4 foot taps like we have up here, and we actually count it exactly the same. So a whole rest sits underneath this line, kind of like a hole in the ground, and that's an easy way to think of it. Whole rest, it's like a hole in the ground. So we are going to count that exactly like this, but we're going to put it in parentheses because we are saying it as a rest. So now we have down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And we would count that. And remember, I'm still thinking in my head, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let's count all the way from the top together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what whole rests are.